Welcome back to Melody Guitar Book 3. This book focuses on reading and playing melodies in standard music notation. You can watch all these videos for free, but it's going to be a lot easier to learn if you have your own copy of Melody Guitar 3 that you can read from and write in, plus you can help support a music teacher. So I'll leave a link in the description. We're on page 85 and you just added minor scales into your warm-up routine. If you've been keeping up with all of your scales, by this time your warm-up routine might be getting a little bit long. So on this page, we're going to go over a strategy you can use to keep your warm-up to a reasonable length. With the addition of minor scales, which you learned on page 84, this is what your daily warm-up should look like at this point. We have 3 chromatic scale forms, which you can find on page 95 of this book. The E minor pentatonic scale, use this to practice hammer-ons and pull-offs. You learned this scale at the end of Melody Guitar Book 1, and you can find it for reference in this book on page 96. Then we have 5 major scale forms and 5 minor scale forms. You can find those forms on page 97. And then we have minor pentatonic scales and blues scales, 5 forms of each of those, which you can find on page 96. And those minor scales are new. I'd like you to gradually commit those to memory. Pick whichever one is easiest for you to memorize and use the charts for the rest. Once you have one of those forms memorized, pick the next easiest one to memorize and use the charts for the rest and work through it like that. By now it may be a little time consuming to practice all of those scales in each form in several positions. You want to make sure you're working on your scales, but you want to have time to work on your actual music too. So to save time and still cover your scales, try picking a key of the day. Each day, play your scales in just one major key and its relative minor. This rotation has been working for me for years. Day 1, you can play C majors and relative minors, A minors. Day 2, F major, D minor. Day 3, B flat major and its relative G minor, and so forth. So let's say it's day 4 in this rotation. You could start off with 3 forms of the chromatic scale, all beginning on E flat. Then play your E minor pentatonic scale. That one is fixed to E minor, so just always play that in E minor. Then you could play the 5 major scale forms in E flat major and 5 minor scale forms in C minor, the relative minor of E flat major. When it's time for minor pentatonic scales, play those in the relative minor as well. So C minor is the key of the day. All your minor pentatonics will be in C minor. And because the blues correspond so closely to the minor pentatonics, go ahead and play those in the relative minor as well, in this case, C minor. Now, if you're working on memorizing a new scale form, practice that particular form in several keys each day. You really want to get that under your fingers and into your muscle memory. But once you're comfortable with it, go ahead and add it to the key of the day rotation and just play it once a day along with the other scales you've memorized. So if you've been looking for a way to streamline your warm-up routine, try this key of the day approach and see how it works for you. And don't forget to order your own copy of Melody Guitar Book 3. The link is in the description. There's no assignment for this lesson. I just wanted to show you a useful approach to warming up. So go ahead and move right on to page 86. You're going to learn a new time signature that'll be cut time, and the next page begins the last section of this book.